Hello and welcome back to Game Domain, as today we are bringing you yet another addition to our top seller series. Our last video was on the Xbox 360's top sellers, and in this video we are going to be making a return to the Nintendo consoles with the Nintendo DS. The original Nintendo DS was built as a successor to the very popular Nintendo Game Boy Advance, and boy was it something different. The DS was equipped with two screens, with the bottom one even being touch sensitive for use with the brand new stylus. The brand new device also gave us a built-in microphone, as well as internet capability that was yet to be seen in a handheld console. These little things that now seem so simple in our modern gaming day were revolutionary and somewhat luxurious for a console to have back then. And these innovations to the handheld console in the form of the Nintendo DS are the main reasons why it has been able to sell over 154 million copies, making it the best-selling handheld console of all time and the second best-selling console of any kind. So now that you have a bit more background on the Nintendo DS's features, which we're sure most of you probably already knew, let's get into the 5 games that get to call themselves the Nintendo DS's top sellers. Coming in as the 5th top-selling game on the Nintendo DS is from arguably Nintendo's most popular franchise, if not the second most popular, Pokemon. Out of the 4 main series Pokemon games to be released on the Nintendo DS, the best-selling ones should be no surprise as they were also Pokemon's debut games on the DS. If you haven't figured it out already, we are of course talking about Generation 4's Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl were released in Japan back on September 28, 2006, and in North America on April 22, 2007. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were able to sell 17.67 million copies worldwide, and there are still people trying to get their hands on these games today as well. Why would people still be trying to get these games over 10 years after their release? These games are quite frankly the most revolutionary in the franchise, not including the first generation games of course, mainly due to the way they mastered the new features that the Nintendo DS gave us. These games featured a great story and gave us arguably the greatest roster of Pokemon in the series, but those are both points we have talked about time and time again in other videos. So right now we are just going to talk about the features that these games have thanks to the DS. First off, the updated sounds on the DS made Pokemon's famous composer Junichi Masuda able to give us probably the best soundtrack in the franchise. The Wi-Fi connectivity of the DS gave us for the first time a global trading system, which is now known as the infamous GTS, and online competitive battle. This set the scene for what is now a very big competitive scene, and in each game since Diamond and Pearl it has been more and more improved on. The DS's touchscreen capability also allowed for Diamond and Pearl to feature the Pokétch device, which has a clock, calculator, map, and many more gadgets that can be unlocked as you get further into the game. Diamond and Pearl were great titles that showed Nintendo fans and more so Pokemon fans the true power of the Nintendo DS, and they are certainly worthy of being the 5th top seller on the DS. Coming in as the 4th best-selling game on the Nintendo DS is one that we haven't even heard of until we started the script for this video, and most of you probably haven't heard of this game's existence either. Brain Age was released back in 2005 in Japan and 1 full year later in North America. Brain Age was able to sell over 19 million copies worldwide, which is an oddly high number for a puzzle game designed for educational purposes. The game features different brain-teasing mini-games ranging from puzzles to mathematical equations to Sudoku puzzles. The game was designed to be played for a little bit each day as it tried to help stimulate kids' brains to get them to educate themselves outside of school. There is really not much else to say about this game, other than the fact that it seems it did what it was designed to do, as it found its way into the homes of a bit over 19 million people and helped to get kids' brains working through the fun and enjoyment of a handheld video game. The 3rd best-selling game on the Nintendo DS should be no surprise to anybody watching this video, and it comes from one of Nintendo's more fun and family-oriented franchises. Mario Kart DS is the DS's iconic installment of the great series, and it could be argued as the best in the series as well. Mario Kart DS was released in 2005 in both North America and Japan, with North America receiving the game 1 month earlier in odd fashion. The majority of the game's praise comes from the great graphics and gameplay that developers were able to get out of the brand new console. These graphics were something that many thought they would never see out of a handheld console, and Nintendo wowed everybody across the gaming world. These graphics were a massive improvement from the Game Boy Advance's edition of Mario Kart and felt more like a true in-home console version of the game. This game is the 3rd highest rated Mario Kart game by Metacritic and the 2nd highest rated handheld Mario Kart game. The DS version brought us what we now know as the usual 5 single-player game modes: Grand Prix, Time Trial, Versus, Battle, and Mission. We're not going to go through and describe each of these as most of you already know all of them, but this game mastered all of these modes and set the stage for the much improved versions of these modes we see today in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. And the last thing that made this game sell so well is that it was the first iteration of the Mario Kart series to feature online Wi-Fi play. This is yet another instance, just like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, in which the DS's Wi-Fi capability opened the door to a huge competitive scene for a franchise. All these reasons are why Mario Kart DS was able to sell so many copies and find itself as the third top seller on the Nintendo DS. The runner-up entry is probably a surprise to some and the furthest thing from a surprise to everybody else. This is none other than the Nintendogs game, and this spot contains all three versions of the games because they are basically all the same game. The game was released universally back on April 21st, 2005, and to date has sold a total of 23.96 million copies to date over all three versions. These three versions include the original released version and the two re-released special editions. This game is a relatively calm and relaxing title, as what could go wrong while you're petting, playing with, and taking care of a virtual puppy. This game teaches kids how to take care of dogs, and if you mess up, it's not like anything legitimate can happen, which is the best part. Nintendogs doesn't really have very much content that makes it such a high-selling game, but the main reason this is sold so well is because it is one of the most kid-friendly Nintendo games ever made. The game's rather simplistic and not at all complicated gameplay makes it a great game for anybody over the age of 6 to play, and even for people who are not very good gamers. Nintendogs is definitely the most calming top seller on the Nintendo DS, and that certainly helped it on its ride to becoming the second top seller on the Nintendo DS. And here's the moment that most of you clicked on this video for, and that is the Nintendo DS's top seller. This game is a member of Nintendo's flagship franchise and is more than worthy of the title that it has attained. And yes, for those of you who don't know yet, the Nintendo DS's top seller is New Super Mario Bros., the game that started the line of games that just had a new entry announced for the Nintendo Switch. New Super Mario Bros. Is the second string of games in the Super Mario Bros. Series and takes what everybody loved about the original Super Mario Bros. Games and graphically enhance them, giving the new generation of gamers an updated taste of the past. New Super Mario Bros. Was released back in May of 2005 in both Japan and North America and has been able to sell a little over 30 million copies to date, the only DS game to sell over 30 million copies. The game follows the generic story of Mario saving the princess, but does add some new elements to the story we all know so well and love so much. The biggest of these is the addition of things only found in 3D Mario games being implemented into this 2D platformer, such as the ground pound, triple jump, and wall jump. This cemented this game as one of the first to master the idea of a 2.5D game, which is the basis of every new Super Mario Bros. Game to follow this one. If you don't know what a 2.5D game is, go check out our What is a 2.5D Game video, which we will leave a link in the description for. This game also offers a multiplayer mode in which one player can play as Mario and another can connect to play as Luigi. New Super Mario Bros. Offered fans a new take on the Super Mario Bros. Franchise and introduced it to many gamers of the younger generation who never got a chance to play the original games. This game also launched the second half of the new Super Mario Bros. Series and a port of the new Super Mario Bros. U, which was just announced for release on the Nintendo Switch in mid-January of 2019 as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. The ability to bring friends and families together with one of the most popular franchises of all time and the new legacy and series of games that followed suit are why this game was able to sell so many copies and crown itself as the Nintendo DS's top seller. Thanks for watching today's edition of our Top Seller series. And just for your knowledge, we don't come up with this list. This list is based on statistical and factual data on what games sold the highest on their respective console. These 5 games are the ones that fit their criteria for the Nintendo DS. So with that being said, what did you think of these 5 games? Are there any games you feel not worthy of the amount of copies they sold? And if so, what games do you think should have been there instead? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And be sure to check out some of our more recent videos, which we will leave links in the description for, as well as our Discord and new info regarding new channel updates. Our Discord is open to you guys to come and chat with our staff members and each other about gaming, so don't be afraid to join. We also encourage you guys to download Cash for Apps using our link in the description. Cash for Apps is an app that allows you to get points for just downloading apps on your phone, and you don't even need to keep the apps. You can save up the points to use for gift cards for various different online stores, and some of the gift cards can be used to purchase V-Bucks for Fortnite. Stay tuned to Game Domain for more great content, and once again, thanks for watching today's edition of Top Sellers.